Good morning, students. I hope all of you are attending the class. All of you, please write your name, section, AB, and their 5-digit roll number so that I can mark your presence in the attendance register. Most of the students are present. I can see their name: Hitesh Kumar, Anisa Singh, Ayush Batra, Kanishk Sharma, Niti Joshi, Divyangi Sasmal, Meg Chabra, Aditya Kachot, Hardik Sharma, Dipanshu Viswa, Subhlakshmi Misra, Suhani Gupta, Gunjan Kanwar, Riya, Tanishk Yogi, Sobhan, Mihika Divedi, Shreya Rai, Ayush Arora, Nehal, Adesh, Sneha Kumari. I think most of the students are there. So without wasting time, I wish to begin the chapter. If you remember, in our last class, we have begun the new chapter, that is chapter 3 from the main book, that is First Flight. And the title of the chapter is Two Stories About Flying. Part 1 we have already begun. It's the first flight, and that is a journey of a small bird that we call seagull, a bird that lives in sea or near to the seashore, named seagull. This is the journey of that small or newly born bird, how he learns to fly. That we were discussing on that day. So without wasting much time, we were on page number 34, and we were discussing that all the family members of that seagull bird, including parents, mother, father, including 2 brothers and 1 sister, all of them were trying their best to make this small baby learn how to fly. But actually they were failed, as they were unable to make him learn how to fly. So sometimes they were encouraging him to make a fly, sometimes they were discouraging him. Discouraging in the sense they were taunting him. Taunt, you understand na? कोई bad remark they were passing कि आप इतने बड़े हो गए, you can't do this one. Sometimes your parents also scold you. Most of the parents, or most of the time, parents are in the habit to encourage you. But at the same time, many times parents use this tool also to encourage you to learn something. That is, they usually make the taunt, बेटा इतने बड़े हो गए अभी ये भी नहीं कर सकते आप. So such adverse remarks also in our life encourages us to learn something. So same tool is applied by all of them. 2 दिन से इस छोटे seagull baby को खाना नहीं दिया, and we were discussing on that day that mothers are after all mothers only. Nobody in the family can be compared what kind of love and affection is shown by a mother towards their baby. It's really very remarkable, you may say. So mother comes, father nahi aata hai, 2 brothers do not come, 1 sister is also there, also she also doesn't come. Only mother comes near to the baby, tries to encourage the child to make a fly. And we were discussing on page number 34. See the first paragraph. They took no notice of him. He saw his 2 brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks, feeling sleepy. His father was preening, making an effort to maintain feathers. the feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. Only and only mother. Baki family members, including father, were passive towards him. They were not even paying attention. But mother to mother hoti hai. Mothers can't see their children. Mothers are in the habit not to see their children hungry. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, her white breast thrust forward. That is a kind of love shown by a mother to a small baby. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet, then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. The sight of the food maddened, and after seeing the food, अगर मान लीजिए आप बहुत hungry and you are shown food to you, मान लीजिए आप बहुत भूखे हैं, आपको बिस्किट का पैकेट दिखा है, obviously we get tempted. The same thing happens with this child also, with this sea bird also. That the sight of the food maddened. जैसे उसने food को देखा, fish को देखा, fish के piece को देखा, he got maddened, crazy to take it. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. To wet it means to sharpen it. Okay, up to that we finished on that day. I tried to connect the story that we finished earlier. Now you see. Ga, 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 he cried, begging her to bring him some food. He cried, begging her to bring him some food. The child, that small bird, is making the request to his mother, "Mummy, please, Gaga." This is the sound made by a small bird to get the food. "Mummy, de dijiye khana," like that. She screamed back derisively, that means mockingly, but in a manner showing someone that she is stupid. But he kept calling plaintively. Plaintively means sorrowfully. And after a minute, or he uttered a joyful scream. He kept calling plaintively, sorrowfully. Oh, ऊपर से करे, बेटा, please try to fly. Beta, please try to fly. Means keep encouraging the child. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. He, you may say, uttered means कुछ बोला. A joyful scream. आवाज निकाली. Joy was there. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. उसकी mother ने क्या किया? She picked a piece of the fish. Fish का एक छोटा सा piece, and she is moving upwards the child. Upwards the child. Time and again I use the word that refers to that small bird. उसके ऊपर ऐसे ऐसे कर रही है, so that he may get higher to collect it and may learn how to fly. And this is one of the way used by parents to make the child learn something. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out to collect it very eagerly. He leaned out like this to collect it. कोशिश किया उसने. Tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her, and tapping the rock with his feet, beating very lightly. He was trying to get a fly. This was the first flight, na? Even the title itself tells his first flight. Trying to get nearer to her as she flew across, but when she was just opposite to him, she halted. She stopped somewhere. She refers to the mother of the seagull. Her wings motionless. उसके जो wings थे, they were motionless, silent, not moving anywhere. The piece of fish in her beak, almost within reach of his beak. The piece of the fish in her beak, जो उसकी mother के beak में जो fish का piece है, that was just near to the child's beak. Mean the child was getting little bit higher. She was coming little bit close to that small one, and he was just about to collect that fish. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she didn't come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. He simply dived like this. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space, and it was the first flight. You see what kind of picturization is given. कि मदर है वो उसके थोड़े लेटर हायर है, सी इज कैरिंग ए पीस ऑफ फिश, नीचे बच्चा है, ही इज ट्राइंग टू कलेक्ट इट, और बच्चे को पता ही नहीं है व्हेन ही लर्न हाउ टू फ्लाई. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. Then a monstrous terror seized him. Monstrous means very higher kind of fear. एकदम से डर लगा. The seagull started flying, but उसकी first flight थी. बच्चा भी जो न्यूली बोर्न बेबी होता है, जैसे फर्स्ट टाइम वो अपना स्टेप्स फॉरवर्ड करता है, आपने देखा होगा, ही इज अनेबल टू बैलेंस हिज बॉडी एंड उसको he feels the fear also. Sometimes we can see it is very much visible on the face of the child. जब न्यूली बोर्न बेबी होता है, जब चलना सीखता है, at the time when he takes the first step, it is like this. That is, his body starts shivering. He feels that I may fall, and in the days to come we see that she learns. Then a monstrous terror, बहुत एकदम से डर गया वो, seized him, caught him, and his heart stood still, and his heart is unable. वो समझ ही नहीं पाया what's happening with me. वो देख नहीं पा रहा, अरे मैं उड़ भी गया, मुझे नहीं मालूम. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards, and this was the fear for hardly 1 minute. Within 1 minute, that fear got over, and he could see that was उड़ रहा है. This is his first flight. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, that under his stomach, and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air, and he could feel that his wings now cut the air. And एयर में उड़ने का जो भी उनका एक स्टाइल होता है, जब भी उसकी स्किल होती है, he is using that skill to fly in the air. He was not falling headlong now, headed towards downwards. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards, and he was soaring, flying upwards slowly here, there, as birds usually do, like a bird who is grown up. He was no longer afraid. अब वो उड़ रहा आसमान में, कोई डर नहीं है, no fear at all, no apprehension. He has learned how to fly. He just felt a bit dizzy. Dizzy, it is given uncomfortable feeling of spinning around, losing one's balance. He felt a little bit dizzy. So लग रहा है that somewhere he gets imbalanced. Then he flapped his wings again, but again उसने wings को flap किया, and he could fly again. And he soared upwards, and now he's singing the song ga 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 like this. His mother swooped past him, and his mother was near to him, her wings making a loud noise, and now he was making a good fly. He has learned that skill, how to fly. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him screaming. He saw his two brothers, his sister flying around him, curveting, that refers to leaping like a horse, and banking, that refers to flying with one wing higher than the other, and soaring and diving. And he could see that the whole family members, including his mother, his father, two brothers, one sister, all of them cheer him up. Well done, bravo, very good, you have learned how to fly. And all of them cheer him up. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly. Or now he has forgotten कि मुझे आता भी नहीं है. He has learned that skill, that he has forgotten that there was a time when I was not known how to fly, and commended himself to die and soar and curve and shrieking shrilly and making the sound of joy. He is happy enough, excessively, he is very much happy. आवाज कर रहा है, साउंड कर रहा है, क्रिएट कर रहा है, साउंड निकाल रहा है, गा 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 like this. Commended means praised, appreciated himself, और अपने आप को appreciate कर रहा है that I have learned this skill to fly. It was near the sea now. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him. और वो ऊपर से देख रहा है कि इतना बड़ा sea, such a big sea it is, with little ridges, with little very edges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and caught amusedly, and again made that sound. Amused means happily. He could see such a big, huge, you may say, the sea, and he was feeling happy. His parents and his brothers and sisters, sorry, had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. और अब उसने देखा कि जो सी का सरफेस है वहाँ पे फादर ने लैंड कर दिया, मदर लैंड हो गई, टू ब्रदर्स लैंडेड, सिस्टर ऑल्सो लैंडेड, and he could see all of them that they are sitting on the seesaw or the surface of the this one. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly, and all of them were beckoning, giving the signal to come. Arey aja bhai, niche come down, like this. They were beckoning to him. They were calling him, come down, calling shrilly. They were in the excited way. They were calling him. Arey aja bhai, aja, all of you come. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea, or he was just about to land on the green sea, on the surface of the sea water. His legs sank into it. उसके थोड़े से जो legs थे वो थोड़े से डूब गए. He screamed with fright, or it was his first flight ना, so because of that he got frightened कि वो कहीं he may get drowned, and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings, and he was flapping his wings, and like that he was coming back on the top of the surface of the sea. But he was tired and weak with hunger. But उसको काफी भूख लग गया था. He got exhausted. He got tired, and he could not rise. He could not rise again. Exhausted. That refers to tired by the strange exercise. He calls that exercise the very strange one. And in the beginning of the chapter, I told you this is the minimum basic skill required by a bird. That is to fly. Without fly, they cannot survive. We know it very well. His feet sank into the green sea, then his belly touched it. और पहले उसके feet अंदर पानी में गए, और उसका जैसे ही belly आया, stomach आया, that touched to the sky. And around him, his family was screaming. और उसके चारों तरफ उसकी family के लोग थे. उसमें father भी है, mother भी है, sister भी है, means everybody is there. His feet sank into the green sea, and then his belly touched it. He sank no farther. He was floating on it. He was swimming on it. By surprise, उसने देखा यार, surprisingly he saw that he is floating on the sea. पहले उसको उड़ना नहीं आ रहा था, उसको तैरना भी आ गया sea पे. He is very much happy. और तैरना आना जरूरी है sea bird को. He was floating on the sea surface of the sea. Around him, his family was screaming, praising him. और उसके चारों तरफ उसके पापा, मम्मी, brother, sister, they cheered him up, praising, commendable act, appreciated. And their beaks were offering him scraps of dog face. And all of them, earlier those who were teasing him, and it is not like that they were meant to tease him only. They have adopted this way to make him learn this thing. They wanted to see him fly. उसे लग रहा था भैया बेटा आपकी बहुत दिन हो गए. Now it is not possible to give food to you. You need to be self-dependent. Okay? So to make him learn this thing, they were taunting him. ये सीख जाए उड़ना. अब सब लोग उसको food offer कर रहे हैं. And he had made his first flight. This is the title of the book also. This is the title of first part of two stories about flying. That is first flight. Even the title of the book is also taken from this chapter only. That is first flight. Or in this chapter, in this part, we have learned how this small bird, newly born seagull, newly born bird he has learned how to fly. So this was all about part 1 that we have discussed now. Now see part 2. The similar kind of story. This is all about a bird that we call seagull. Newly born baby के बारे में. Newly born bird you may call. How he learns to fly. That we have learned in part 2. In part 2, we will discuss about a black aeroplane. That we will discuss. So अपना जो module 2 है, that I am showing to the screen also. Module 2 में आपको जो write up दिया गया था, what kind of summary that is already supplied to you. I think all of you have gone through it. I just want to explain it. And today that class will get over with the explanation of these two worksheets related to black aeroplane. Or this one you may call the handout given to you, already given to you. I wish to explain it. Or after explaining this, in our next class we will discuss the chapter line by line. As I discussed this one, his first flight. In the same way, I will discuss black aeroplane 2 in my next class. So, before we begin the new class, I wish to explain part 2, module 2 upon 2. Introduction it is given. Students, in the first part of the lesson, that is the first flight, we saw that the young seagull was afraid of falling down. हमने देखा कि जैसे ही seagull है, when he starts learning how to fly, it is a kind of fear in its mind that he may fall down. So it hesitated to fly. तो उसने hesitation रोक दिया. उसको hesitation हो रही थी. However, it is not only that a young chick, small bird, can have problems with the flying. It is not like that this kind of problem is with the birds only, with the small chick only. At times, even a trained pilot, पूरा उनको जो लाइसेंस मिलता है, उसके बाद भी एक ट्रेंड पायलट है, may encounter serious problems after successful takeoff. एक मान लीजिए कोई एरोप्लेन का पायलट है, काफी ट्रेंड है, काफी एक्सपीरियंस्ड है, वेल एक्सपीरियंस्ड यू मे कॉल है, but then also he may come across, he may encounter such problems after a successful takeoff. मान लीजिए कोई फ्लाइट है, वो जयपुर से दिल्ली के लिए या जयपुर टू मुंबई के लिए टेक ऑफ किया, in between somewhere. I think all of you know this thing very well कि जितनी भी फ्लाइट्स टेक ऑफ करती है, जो पायलट है उनके पास बहुत सारे बटन्स या बहुत सारी मशीनरी उनके पास होती है, मींस दे आर वेल कनेक्टेड with the ground staff available on the airport. एयरपोर्ट पे जो ग्राउंड स्टाफ होता है उनसे सब लोग कनेक्टेड रहते हैं and all the time they are making the communication with each other. But I think बहुत सारे बच्चों ने इस तरह की स्टोरी कहीं पढ़ी होगी, सुनी होगी, देखी होगी टीवी पे कि that particular flight take off किया था इतने बजे और इसके बाद it lost contact with the ground staff. कई बार वो कांटेक्ट मिसिंग हो जाता है ग्राउंड स्टाफ से और बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इस तरह की बहुत सारी कैजुअलिटीज भी होती है. बिकॉज एट द टाइम इवन द ट्रेंड स्टाफ, आपके जैसे और मेरे जैसे तो कोई लोग उड़ा नहीं सकते, फ्लाइट को टेक ऑफ नहीं कर सकते, बट इवन द ट्रेंड पीपल ऑल्सो, ट्रेंड पायलट्स मे एनकाउंटर और कम अक्रॉस टू सच प्रॉब्लम्स. Even suppose you ask any problem to me, it may be like that I am unable to answer on the same date to you, in the same class to you. I may take time. In the same manner, even the trained staffs, trained pilots, take off होने के बाद में भी they may come across, they may encounter such problems after leaving the, after getting, missing the contact with the ground staff. Okay, may encounter serious problems after a successful takeoff. Takeoff एकदम सक्सेसफुल हो गए, एवरीथिंग इज ओके, और टेकऑफ से पहले सारी चीजें जो भी उनके पैरामीटर्स होते हैं सारे चेक होते हैं, उसके बाद ही टेकऑफ होती है फ्लाइट. बट फिर भी ऐसा होता है कि कई बार पायलट्स जो है दे मे लॉस्ट कांटेक्ट विद द ग्राउंड स्टाफ और वो ब्लैक एरोप्लेन बन जाता है. दैट काइंड ऑफ स्टोरी इज गिवन. वी ऑफन हियर ऑन टीवी or read in newspaper अबाउट प्लेन क्रैश, बहुत बार अपने टीवी में या न्यूज़पेपर में देखा होगा कि वो इस जगह से इस जगह फ्लाइट टेक ऑफ हुई थी और प्लेन क्रैश हो गया। और मिस्टीरियस प्लेन डिसअपियरेंसेस, तो कई बार ऐसा भी होता है कि कोई पर्टिकुलर प्लेन था दैट गोट डिसअपियर्ड एंड इवन टिल डेट वी आर अनेबल टू फाइंड आउट वेयर इज इट। उस समुद्र में कहीं गिर गया, पता नहीं लगा पा रहे हैं। एंड जब भी इस तरह की कोई घटनाएं होती है, इस तरह की मिस हैपनिंग होती है, आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल meet the casualty. When we talk about mysterious plane disappearances, one name easily comes to our mind, that is Bermuda Triangle. That you please check about Bermuda Triangle in Google also. Take the help of Google, and in PPT also it is given. It is a loosely defined region in the western part of North Atlantic Ocean where a number of aircrafts and ships are said to have disappeared. ये कैसी जगह है बरमुडा ट्रायंगल जहाँ पे बहुत सारे एयरक्राफ्ट, बहुत सारे एरोप्लेन डिसअपियर हुए हैं, और वो भी अंडर मिस्टीरियस सर्कमस्टांसेस. Circumstances are also not known to us. Circumstances which occurred, they were mysterious. However, reputable sources dismiss the idea that there is any mystery. A pilot sometimes has to face unexpected problems. As I discussed earlier, that most of the even the pilots are well trained, well experienced, but then also sometimes they lose contact with the ground staff, or in what way they meet the casualty that we usually read in the newspaper, see in the on TV. Air turbulences, irregular motion of the air caused by storm can be one of the most serious challenges faced by a pilot. और कई बार irregular जैसे motion of the air होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा तेज हवा का कोई ऐसा दबाव होता है, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कई बार आपने इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग का नाम भी सुना होगा कि पायलट से मान लीजिए एक पर्टिकुलर एरोप्लेन ने दिल्ली से टेक ऑफ किया, मुंबई जाना था, इन बिटवीन जयपुर उनको रोकना पड़ा. रीजन बिकॉज ऑफ सर्टेन अनअवॉइडेबल सर्कमस्टांसेस, अनअवॉइडेबल सिचुएशंस, उनको फिर कहीं पे भी इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग करवानी पड़ती है बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. So air turbulences may be one of the serious causes, one of the important causes to face such challenges by any pilot. It may be because all the equipment provided to him carry out his duty safely may not be one of any use to him, and sometimes it may happen. एक तो हो गया नेचुरल, जो आपने देखा कि एयर टर्बुलेंस आ गया, उनके ऐसा कोई ट्रबल आ गई, बहुत तेज हवा आ गई, या कोई फोग हो गए कोलों पे सडन, दैट वाज नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड बाय दैम. एक तो ये रीजन होता है. कई बार आपने देखा होगा विंटर के टाइम में बहुत सारी फ्लाइटें या तो लेट हो जाती है या फिर कैंसिल हो जाती है बिकॉज ऑफ हैवी फॉग. एंड इट मे बी वन ऑफ द कॉजेज कि कोई उनका पर्टिकुलर इक्विपमेंट स्टॉप्स वर्किंग. एक रीजन ये हो सकता है कि उनके पायलट का जो भी एरोप्लेन है उसमें कोई पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन है दैट इज वेरी मच नीडेड टू कंटिन्यू द फ्लाइट, वो कहीं मिस हो गया, खराब हो गया. व्हाट शुड अ पायलट डू इन सच केस? पायलट के पास उस समय केवल और केवल इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग के अलावा कोई विकल्प नहीं होता. और कई बार ऐसा होता है कि ग्राउंड स्टाफ जो भी होता है एयरपोर्ट का, उनसे भी कई बार कनेक्शन नहीं होता उनसे अपने. What should a pilot do in such case? Does he stand any chance to get rescued by a mysterious power? That we all understand that it is science only, technology only. उसी से टेक ऑफ लोग करते हैं, तो mystery is not at all possible. But that kind of mysterious power worked in this story that we are going to discuss in the chapter. The lesson, the black aeroplane, two stories about flying, provides the most mysterious answer to the second question. The question that is asked कि ऐसा कोई mysterious power है that will help the pilot. So we are getting the answer that is the writer calls it the most mysterious answer he calls. So about the author we will see later on. You see about this. The story under discussion, come to the next page. The story under discussion narrates how a pilot gets caught in a storm. Or in this story we are going to discuss in what way a pilot gets caught in a storm, while on his way to England to Dakota, कोई उसका जो flight take off हुआ वो इंग्लैंड से लेकर डेकोटा तक था, and how he is helped by a mysterious black aeroplane, or in a what way this aeroplane pilot was helped by another pilot, जिसको वो कहते हैं mysterious black aeroplane. So the story in brief, you see, it will take another 10 minutes to finish it. What's the time? Okay, 30 minutes are over, 10 more minutes. It was night time when the sky was clear. The stars could be seen twinkling, shining in the sky. The narrator, who was flying his Dakota aeroplane, felt happy while he was flying over France to England. और जो narrator है वो obviously is the pilot also. Happy enough है कि वो डायकोटा से लेके फ्रांस तक ऊपर से निकल रहा है. जैसे मान लीजिए आप में से कोई पायलट बड़े और रावत बाटा के ऊपर से जा रहे हैं. It was past 1:30 in the morning. 1:30 refers to 12:30 midnight, and he was fantasizing about holidaying with his family, and he was very much happy. जैसे ही फ्लाइट है वो लैंड करेगा, then he will enjoy. जब भी उनका जो पीरियडिकल रेस्ट होता है, ऑफ होता है, and he will enjoy holiday with his family. He is planning in that way कि अभी भी बस फ्लाइट लैंड टेक ऑफ हुआ था, उसके बाद लैंड करने वाला है, then he will enjoy his weekend or his Sunday or his off with the family members. When the aeroplane was in France, the pilot thought of informing the Paris control personnel about its presence and for instructions. As soon as aeroplane pilots, they get the contact with other staff, ground staff of different airports, तो उसने पेरिस के एयरपोर्ट को बता दिया भैया मेरा ये लोकेशन है, and he was waiting for some of the instructions to be given by ground staff to him. He informed the control agency, and they responded with further instructions on directions and what kind of information he received from the France airport department that we call the ground staff. He received all these directions and accordingly he was doing. The control rooms at Paris instructed him to turn 12 degrees towards the west. और पेरिस के ग्राउंड स्टाफ ने कहा कि भैया आप 12 degrees towards the west side आप मोड़ लीजिए. You are on the wrong direction. After receiving the instruction, the narrator geared up and followed the instructions of the control room, switched over to the second and the last fuel tank. Or this was the only fuel left with him. All this time he was dreaming about his time with his family, and he was happily, you may say, एकदम अच्छे से happily flying the pilot aeroplane. वो जो pilot था aeroplane को बहुत अच्छे से उड़ा रहा था, and he was dreaming to spend the time with his family. Then he started thinking about having a satisfactory breakfast at home, and even he is thinking that what kind of breakfast he will have with the family, अपने बच्चों के साथ, अपनी वाइफ के साथ में. He is thinking about to take breakfast also. That today I'll take breakfast with my family members. He was in jolly mood, happy and planning to get breakfast with his family. He was calm as everything was going as planned. Means everything calculated was happening with him, in his life. Now the plane had crossed Paris when he started seeing clouds in the sky, and naturally it happens many times. तो कई बार पायलट्स को इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग करवाना होता है बिकॉज ऑफ द क्लाइमेटिक चेंजेस. जैसे मैंने बताया कि फॉग आ गया, बहुत हैवी स्टॉर्म आ गया, तो ही वाज आल्सो फेसिंग वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट स्टॉर्म. The presence of clouds made him feel uneasy because there were chances of a storm, and he could see कि वहाँ पे अब उसको फील हो गया. Being a pilot, he was trained enough, experienced enough, so he could feel कि कोई ना कोई प्रॉब्लम तो उसको आ ही गया है. They were so huge and dark that he compared them with black mountains. Even the clouds were this much big that he has compared these big clouds with black mountains. He knew he couldn't pass them. उसे बिल्कुल मालूम है. His experience tells him that he could not cross these big mountains or black mountains, or that he calls the clouds, as it was impossible to go above them or escape them with the amount of fuel that was left in the last tank. Or it is the experience of the pilot that tells to him that this much fuel is left with them. It is difficult to cross this black mountain in the form of clouds. The right decision would have been to fly back to Paris safely. एक तो उसके पास option which was available with him that he should go back to Paris because this much fuel was left in the tank. But he was overwhelmed by his wish to meet his family. But at the time, he planned to take the risk as that kind of dreaming was going on in his mind that I should have breakfast with my family today. क्योंकि अगर वो वापस पेरिस जाएगा तो obviously he may get stuck over there. He is unable to enjoy the breakfast or his family time. So उसके दिमाग में he is very much overwhelmed. All the time his family members come in his mind. So he desperately wanted to be with his family. He was desperate enough to be with his family and have that English breakfast he had been dreaming of all day. और पूरे रात भर से उसको यही ड्रीम आ रहा था tomorrow I will spend quality time with my family. I will enjoy breakfast with them. I will have dinner with them like that. So he decided to take the risk of not going back. So he has decided that I will cross this black mountain only. I will cross these clouds only. I will cross this storm only. I will face it. Thus he headed the plane right into the storm. So he has crossed. He has planned to cross the storm. उसके पास two options were available. He should go back and take the emergency landing in Paris. दूसरा उसके पास तरीका था that he should go ahead, so take the risk. It is up to the pilot only. It was so dark because of the storm that nothing was visible outside the plane. He couldn't see anything. He started losing control of the aeroplane. अब aeroplane पे उसका control नहीं रहा because nothing was visible to him because of this black mountain, that is storm or clouds. The compass and other instruments had also stopped working because of the bad weather. और जब भी बैड वेदर होता है आपने देखा होगा कि इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग होती है तो उसने इमरजेंसी लैंडिंग नहीं करवा के और he has taken the risk to go ahead or because of the bad weather all the instruments which were very much available in the plane stopped working. He became helpless over there. He tried calling the Paris control agency who had helped him earlier but couldn't connect because of the weather. He tried to get connected with the ground staff कि मेरा ये सब ये हो गया है but he is unable to get connected because all the equipments stopped working. When everything failed, he saw a ray of hope when he saw another aeroplane. He felt relieved when he saw another pilot's face and willingness to help him escape the storm. Or in between, he was totally helpless. उसने देखा there is a hope, a ray of hope. He could see the another pilot and he was smiling towards him. He thought to himself that the another pilot was very kind as he knew that he was lost and was trying to help him. And he has understood in that way कि कोई दूसरा पायलट है जो मेरे को देख रहा है पास में कोई दूसरा प्लेन चल रहा है and he has come to help me and he wanted to help me. The other pilot took his plane ahead of the narrator's aeroplane and narrator aeroplane से आगे जैसे अपने अपन कार आगे निकाल ले to make it easier for the narrator to follow him or he was giving the signal to him that you keep following me. कई बार होता है ना अपन where we do not know the way we usually ask to another car driver कार वाला कहता है सर मेरे पीछे पीछे आ जाइए like that. The narrator followed him like an obedient child, because there was no other option available to him. He has lost contact with the ground staff. All the equipments very much available in the aeroplane. They also stopped working. And he was following all the instructions given by another pilot like an obedient child. He was also panicked because there was very less fuel left और वो इस बात को लेके बहुत परेशान था. Time and again thinking on that point कि मेरे टैंक में फ्यूल तो बहुत कम है. It was only then that he started coming out of the storm and he could see the runway to land his plane safely. When he returned to thank the another pilot, he realized that the plane had helped him had disappeared as soon as he came out of the storm. और जैसे ही वो स्टॉर्म से बाहर आया he couldn't believe, विश्वास ही नहीं कर पा रहा. There was no another plane, no another pilot who helped. That was simply a kind of you may say self confidence. Because of that he came out of that storm. No other pilot was there, no other aeroplane was there to help him. This was simply his self confidence. Because of that he could cross and that kind of feeling that he had in his mind to meet his family. The author didn't know where he had landed. After landing, he left his plane and headed straight into the control room to ask about the other pilot. To his utmost surprise, the lady informed him that there was no other plane in the sky except his because of the bad weather. And quite surprised to get to know, जब उसको ground staff ने बताया that only and only aeroplane that was available in the sky belongs to you. No other aeroplane was there because of bad weather. And he was surprised enough to see. This was only self confidence. Because of that, he could cross that storm, that difficulty. He was left astonished, surprised, with a lot of questions unanswered in his mind, and a number of questions were there in his mind, and these questions were unanswered because he could not feel that this will happen to him. So this was all about the summary part that in brief I have explained. Rest of it you do it by yourself, and then we will discuss in our next class. We will discuss the text of this chapter, Black Aeroplane. This is the story related to self confidence that sometimes helps us to come out from certain sorrows and difficulties. If you wish to ask anything, you can ask. I think nobody is there to ask anything. So today's class is over. Have a good day.